the politicians we need, we have to vote for them. But we can't vote for the politicians we need if we don't know what we need. So we have to educate the people to know this question, so they can vote the right thing. And the politicians don't dare, even if they know, because they often know a lot about this question, but they don't dare to make hard decisions because they won't be elected for them. So my question to you is that I started to ask you yesterday: where do you find your hope, or where can we who want to reach the ordinary people find hope to give them?
I remember some years ago I was at Arizona State University, a large campus crowd, and someone in the back asked, how do you avoid becoming depressed, with all these issues? And I said, bourbon.
Cut that out, please.
Two things. One, as parents, all of us want the best for our children: education, health care, and we'll invest a lot, we'll sacrifice a lot to see that they get that. But if they have a good education and good health care, and the world is collapsing around them, it won't mean anything. And what we do not yet have, we have an underlying sense of worry about the future. As I mentioned, when people ask me, how are you? But we don't have a clear enough sense of what it might be like. Before we became in World War II, it was someone else's problem in Europe or in Asia. It wasn't our problem. We didn't think, or at least we hoped it wouldn't be. But I think Roosevelt and the leadership knew that sooner or later we would be involved in the war. But most people didn't want to face that reality. And in a sense, we're like that now. We can't anticipate Pearl Harbor. And maybe in the climate front, if we wait until there is a Pearl Harbor, it'll be too late. So the challenge is to give a sense of where things are headed, but at the same time give a sense of what we can do. And appeal to parents, because parents do care about their children. And we can now begin to see what failing states, how they affect us. Whether they become training grounds for terrorists, or whether they become, as Afghanistan is, the principal source. 90% of the world's heroin now, I think, comes from Afghanistan, or whether it's the Somali pirates, who are creating an extraordinary headache for the rest of the world. And no one knows what the costs are, but there are 17 countries now have naval units in the Arabian Sea, the Indian Ocean, and so forth, trying to control the piracy and not being very successful at it. Again, it's almost it's a mismatch between the weapon systems of destroyers and huge ships and these very fast little speedboats that have the capacity to sink a ship if they want. So it's partly an educational problem. And how do we raise the level of awareness to the point where we reach that sort of political tipping point?